When evaluating the risks that impact farming, it's important to factor in the significance of weather and how it influences your decisions. The specific microclimate of your farm could be different from what is predicted by weather stations. It may even be measured just 10 kilometres away, but if you're using that data to make important decisions, keep in mind that it may not accurately reflect your exact conditions. Manually collecting data from rain gauges also leaves room for error, whereas automated digital systems give more accurate and timely information, which can then be shared with your staff and providers to make sure everyone is up to date. You can also add other sensors to weather stations to collect more information. Weather stations located on the farm have many benefits, including tracking pest and disease potential, making decisions on when to spray or carry out certain jobs, scheduling irrigation, and looking at long-term trends versus production. Weather stations can be adapted to a number of different sensors and typically use a variety of individual sensors or one all-in-one instrument, as well as a data logger or telemetry unit. They are usually solar powered and must be installed at a distance from buildings and other obstacles. Weather stations usually include sensors for air temperature, humidity, wind speed, wind direction and rainfall. Depending on your needs, you can also get extra sensors for barometric pressure, solar radiation and lightning strikes. The air temperature and humidity sensors must be installed inside a radiation shield if they are installed as individual sensors. Most providers will be able to mix and match sensors to meet your requirements, and all rain gauges connected to these weather stations will measure rainfall automatically. There are several all-in-one weather stations available which monitor all or some of the sensors, and these tend to be easier to install and require less maintenance than traditional weather stations. The prices for weather station sensors vary a lot, and usually the cheaper ones are plastic, so they won't last as long and are harder to calibrate. There are a few things to consider when looking at weather monitoring to continue getting accurate data. Weather sensors need to be checked every year, and rain gauges require monthly cleaning. Temperature and humidity sensors tend to have the shortest lifespan, and some manufacturers suggest regular calibration checks and regularly replacing sensors after around 5 years. The sensor's telemetry device and solar panel are mounted to a pole, enabling them to be installed anywhere, but individual sensors need to be mounted in a way so they do not interfere with the other sensors mounted on the same pole. Weather stations should be located far from infrastructure, trees, and other obstacles that could interfere with them, particularly wind speed and rainfall sensors. Ideally, they will be over grass and not within the range of irrigation systems. It's important to identify all of your specific needs and talk to your provider to see what they can offer you. For example, evapotranspiration cannot be measured directly. It is a calculation based on air temperature, humidity, wind speed, wind direction, and solar radiation sensors. Some service providers provide this data on their websites. There are several benefits to installing a weather station on the farm. Since rainfall is localised, having the exact rainfall for the farm is helpful for irrigation scheduling and making decisions around cultivation, planting and harvesting. Wind speed sensors are useful to determine if the conditions are right to spray, and particularly useful if the paddocks are some distance away. Remotely checking the wind speed is low enough to spray may save a trip and product waste. Wind speed sensors can also be useful for high wind alerts to enable infrastructure such as irrigators to be moved in a timely manner to avoid damage. Prolonged periods of high humidity can cause pest and disease issues for some crops, so having a long-term humidity record means trends can be tracked and preventative measures applied before yield is lost. Having near real-time weather data means you can plan your work around suitable conditions. For example, setting temperature alerts for staff to stop work outside when the air temperature reaches a predetermined limit. Having long-term weather data also gives you the ability to look at trends over time and compare these to crop yields and disease impacts. When getting in touch with potential providers, make sure you have a clear idea of what you are looking for and any compatibility requirements your current gear or equipment has. So when you're ready to explore your options, vendors like Harvest, Halo Systems, Watermetrics, NIWA and Primary Insight are a great place to start.